I got caught up dealing with something over there. Welcome to Piece to Pat Paints. I'm Pat. We paint pieces. We finished a piece, and now we have a new piece. So fun. This is a Sahuagin Baron. Sahuagin are, they're like fish people. You can see his little fishy tail back there. Um, like, a sea devil or whatever. These things are pretty evil. They're always kind of the villains whenever we use them in Dungeons and Dragons. They're very hard to kill. They're a very powerful creature. They prefer to live underwater, but they can occasionally come out of the water and do different things. The younger of them are born with, or the lower classes, I should say, are born with two arms, and the barons are born with four. So this print is from who did I get this from? Artisan Guild. So this is Artisan Guild, and I bought their files and I printed this. So this one was the ones we 3D printed here in the studio, which is awesome. I always like that to do with those papers. Oh, they're right in front of me. So anyway, we got a couple things we need to do. First off, I changed out our palette yesterday, so I'm going to show you guys, the old palette thing. We're going to do that. We'll get that started, and then we got to sand off the bottom of this guy's base just a little bit. This is pretty easy. You just pour a bunch of water in here and just kind of let it chill, and then we'll pour the rest of the water back into our bottle. Right now I'm using this squeeze bottle because it's got a whole lot more water in it than my little squeeze guy. So, but it'll get down in there. You can help it if you want. It's kind of fun to play with. Playing with sponges is always entertaining. Harkens back to when we were all kids, right? All right. So we want to let that soak up for a while. It's been dry for several days. Anyway, and while we're doing that, we're gonna sand this. This is one of those things where having these little sanding sticks is a great tool for this. It's gonna take these nubs down really fast, and it's just flat, so we don't have to worry about it cutting into anything because of its angle. And it's gonna have two sides to it. This one we don't need it to look a certain way. We just need it to be nice and smooth. So we may not need that finer deal. We don't need it to be polished, just smooth enough to sit down right. And this is something that you just deal with when you're dealing with 3D prints. There's always a little bit of prep work that you got to do. And I usually do this. I did all the rest of the model before I painted it, but for some reason I forgot to do the dang bottom of it, and I don't know why. But I did. So just a little bit of that, and check with your finger. If you're going to be using like a router or something for this, I highly recommend a mask. Or if you're going to be doing an extended period of it, definitely use a mask. I'm only just doing that little bit and I'm done. So I'm not terribly worried about it. But if I were going to be in here, if I had my Dremel or whatever out and I was going to be throwing up a lot of dust, you'd want to wear a mask because that stuff, you really don't want to breathe that in. A little quick job isn't a big deal, but if you're doing extensive work, definitely mask up. You don't want to get all wheezy like me. All right. All right, that should be getting pretty close. We'll just use this opportunity to take that water and fill this one up since it's low. Grab my funnel. It's always nice to have funnels. Of course, last time I did this, I made a mess. I tried to do it on camera. I got it this time though. Look at that. Yay for me. So, get the majority of that water out of there. Pour off the excess. It's soaked up about as much as it really wants. I need to get a little bit more out of there. Oh yeah. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, now that that's done, we'll throw this little sheet of parchment on here, and we'll build a palette and get started. Which is, you know, whatever you actually came here for. I like to show this kind of stuff though, because like not everybody's done this, and I don't expect everybody to go like searching back through all my videos to see the times I have done this. So I feel like every now and again, it's okay to show it. Just simply, you just never know who's new to the hobby, maybe. Never seen anything like it, so we'll give them that opportunity. All right, so as per usual, we're gonna start off. We're gonna grab the usual suspects. So, great movie. If you haven't seen The Usual Suspects, definitely check that movie out. It's a good one. So this guy's little, so we only need like tiny bits of paint, really, and we're not doing a bunch of them. No, when we're like doing a big model or we're doing whole armies, you need a lot more paint out. When you're just doing a little guy, it's not that much. But so we'll do the Mars black, titanium white, a little more than that. There we go. And the advantage of using the wet palette is it's going to keep your paint from drying out. So you can put this little bits about down. When I first started painting, and I used a lot of the drop bottles or the pots or whatever I was using at the time, it felt like my stuff was always drying out and getting crusty or whatever. This is great. You just throw this stuff down and go. It's beautiful. So that is our Payne's gray. If you've been around here for long, you know how much of a fan I am of Payne's gray. It's like a blue black instead of a. Now Mars black is like just a straight black. When you thin it out, it just turns gray. This, when you white it out. So when you use white and combine it to that, it turns into a blue gray, which is really pretty, and it's useful for a lot of different things. Then we throw down a raw umber, and then this is a burnt umber. Raw umber is going to be kind of like a dark brown, earthy brown. And burnt umber has got that reddish tint to it. We'll use that for, wood. Anything organic that's got a shadow if it's brown. So dirt, ground. There's all sorts of stuff. Fur. Lots of things we use those things for. And then the redder shade, of course, is pretty easy to figure out where that goes. All right. And yellow ochre, which is always a good one. We're going to be doing some seashell stuff and barnacles and things like that. So we're probably going to need yellow ochre and some Naples yellow. It's a bunch of colors. It's great. I love colors. It's exciting because Mr. Radigan, unfortunately, was not a whole lot of different colors, just varying shades. This is a Naples yellow. We'll be using this for shells and stuff like that, barnacles as well. These are all real natural colors that these four. They're great tones to use to kind of come up with your natural colors. You've also got siennas and stuff like that you could add in between, but I'm not gonna worry about siennas this round. Doesn't necessarily need to be in this palette. All right, so on to some blues. Winsor blue. I missed blue so much. I miss blue and green. He didn't have any blue or green on him at all. It's all red, orange, yellow, white, and gray. The bluest thing on him is the Payne's gray on this guy over here. Anyway, it's going to be exciting. We have some new models coming in, and they've got some different colors and stuff on them, which will be cool. I like variety. I think that's an artist thing. Eventually, if you don't have variety, you get a little crazy. I think I got a little out of order, too. That's alright. At least order on the doobly-doo down below. So that was the Phthalo blue and teal I just put down. There's a pale terracotta. I'll just put these up here. Pale terracotta. This will be good. We're going to use this kind of to make a, it's kind of a coral pink. He's got some armor on here. And on my other guys, the armor is a coral pink color. So we're going to do that on this guy as well because it looks cool. And he'll match everybody else in the little army I have of Sahuagin. Which is what they're going to end up facing eventually. They know they've got a problem. That's a vermilion hue, which is like a really reddish orange. More red than orange. Alright, let's keep going. So, last two that we know of. I might add some more later. Some metallics or something. I don't even think we're going to get through all these colors today. Although you never know, we're only 15 minutes in. Doing pretty good. We're setting up palettes and talking. I don't know. Kind of fun. So that's a phthalo green versus the phthalo blue, which is, you know, just across the teal from it. And then an olive green. Now these two colors I'm going to use to make kind of like a lighter sea green, sea kelp color for his cloaks and stuff. Different kelps and seaweeds, they all have different colors and such. And I left myself plenty of room for mixing this time, which is great with the little, you know, good to have. Lately we've been having having to mix like right next to stuff, but you know, getting into the single models that are smaller is fun. I like single models that are smaller, but I also enjoy doing the big ones because they're kind of intimidating a little bit. Just, I like challenges though. That's just me. Some people, they don't dig that. My mic has been off this whole time. 17 minutes and my mic has been off. There we go. See, like, the reason that this one got messed up is like I fell down the stairs. Well, not like all the way down the stairs. Like I slipped on the stairs today, and so I'm in a lot of pain. So I've kind of, so, you know, ignore the first 17 minutes of that video. Golly. I'm going to have to... Welcome to Pieces of Pat Paints. I'm Pat. We paint pieces. I'm going to delete all the rest of that when I publish this video. So nobody else is good. You guys aren't going to see the silence of me sitting here with no sound, putting all of this together. Golly. Anyway, we're going to paint this guy a lovely blue color. Because I missed blue. So that's what we're going to do. He's got a big plate here. And that plate is going to end up being like a pink color. His belly is going to be a much lighter blue. But we're going to go ahead and throw down this Winsor blue. Oh man, I haven't made that mistake in a while. Not turning on my mic. I haven't done that in a minute. Luckily, no one came by except for Kristen. my most faithful watcher. Um, she's always here the whole time. But I can tell by my counter it didn't send it to anybody else, so you know that's good. Still suffering from technical malfeasance here, because I am technically inept when it comes to a lot of these things. I'm getting better though. I'm a whole lot better. It's been a long time since we made that mistake. That's really good, which is awesome. It wasn't long. Thanks. Yeah, Kristen was listening. Yeah, it's just one of those things where we made that little issue, and it's been a long time since we've done that, so that's good. I'm chalking it up to Payne. I hurt myself today, so I'm just a little woozy. Probably more than I thought, but you know, like Freddie said, the show must go on, right? Any Queen fans out there? I love Queen. Nobody sang quite like Freddie. I don't know that anybody ever will. Okay. We're just trying to get that Winsor blue on here. My other guys that are Sahuagin are green. And then we have one that's another kind of blue. This guy's going to be like a between them. I'll have to bring them out and show you in the next one. Probably would have been nice to have him on this one, but I didn't get very set up today. I'm just not feeling well. I don't like making excuses for myself. But I feel like we've gone so long without making that particular era, which has happened several times back in the beginning. It must be you go, well, what's different? Why do we make this mistake? And the answer is, what was different is I was not feeling 100%. I need to turn that light on. I don't know why, but that helps. I need to stay right up here too. Stop drifting around. We're going to use this Winsor as our dark coat, and then we're going to get him to be a phthalo blue as the most of his coloration. But we got to have something dark under him first. He's got a couple different pieces of jewelry, so we're definitely going to be bringing out some metallics later. And get him all done. Get his flesh done up first, and we'll figure out what we want to do about those other ones. The Golden Demon winners are out for anybody who follows the world of miniature painting. Golden Demon is a competition at Adepticon, which is it's a Games Workshop deal. So, your Warhammer and Warhammer Age of Sigmar and 40K, Some really, really cool stuff. If you like miniatures, go check them out. They put them up on the Warhammer.com thing. You search Golden Demon, it'll take you right to it. But there's some really cool models on there. I was really impressed. Some good inspiration. It's always fun to take a look at other people's stuff and kind of like use that to make yourself better. I was talking about that to my kids this week too. So anyway, this guy is a Sahuagin. Now I'm kind of off my script because I don't know how much I talked about with the mic on or not. But so we're gonna just kind of repeat ourselves. If you heard this before, just bear with me. So they're four-handed or four-armed barons. These are the upper class guys. These are the bigger warrior caste. They're a very kind of tribal society. They rely on priestesses and their warrior caste. The barons, like I said, they have four arms. The ones that are not barons, they only have two. They all have legs, of course, and feet, and a tail. Most of them have little tails. This guy, you can see his little sharky kind of tail right here. Anywho, so they're kind of evil in general. Some of the races in Dungeons and Dragons are, they're animals, so there's not really like an evil there. Like, is a T-Rex evil? No, it's just a predator. Is a lion evil? No, it's a predator, and those sort of things that are like that. And then you have certain creatures in Dungeons and Dragons that are sentient creatures that are just plain evil. The Sahuagin are one of those kinds of creatures. They delight in the torture and abuse of other sentient creatures in the fantasy realm, which is pretty evil. I mean, like, it's different than lizard men. Lizard men are like kind of evil. They're just evil by proxy, really. They're evil because they'll eat anything. But does that really make them evil, or does that just make them omnivores? I don't know. Carnivores. I don't know. Anyway, these ones will literally hunt you down, enslave you, torture you, whatever they want to do. They're pretty darn evil. As a species in general, I'm sure that there are always possibilities, as Mr. Spock was off to say. Leonard Nimoy's birthday was just the other day. Happy birthday, old Leonard Nimoy. Not sure how old he would have been, but pretty dang old. Passed away several years ago. And now I'm just chatting about whatever. So anyway, the Sahuagin in our game have taken over a lizard man hideout outside of a town called Saltmarsh, and they're forcing the good peoples of the ocean out of the ocean and away from the area around Saltmarsh, and creating multiple problems. There's other things afoot, but we won't talk about those so that we can't spoil anything, because Kristen plays in that game and I don't want to spoil any of the surprises. But they will eventually go and have to take care of this Sahuagin problem. Right now, they're currently stuck on an island, dealing with a cult, and they're they have possession of a book that the party needs. And it'll be exciting. I think we're going to be playing next weekend, since this weekend is Easter and everybody's got obligations, such as life. Obligations that, if you were listening yesterday, you would know that both myself and one of my my lovely players forgot that Easter was this weekend, and that we were both obligated to do something. We was ready to go. Alright, so that blue is super dark. It's really hard to see it versus the black. In the camera, it's a little even harder. But when I see it pretty good. I can tell. And it's going to be our undertone. It's a great color. And it'll really, when we start laying down our Phthalo, it'll really start showing. That's pretty damn blue. Pretty dang blue. Such a great model. I love this guy. 4 arms. I'll have to look up with see which of the writers came up with that one. The 4 arms. I don't know. Ever since I was a little kid, the idea of something having 4 arms has always been a little scary to me. I think it was like one of those old Harryhausen films where you know, it's the old stop motion animation. I think something in there had 4 arms, and it scared me. I was like a little kid, and so now I've always like things with 4 arms. I'm like, yeah, he looks mean. He looks mean. From when I was scared of it. I loved when they came out with Goro in Mortal Kombat. You know, he's got 4 arms. So I loved Goro. I was like, oh yeah, he looks mean. Alright, he's got a little fishy face inside this helmet. Feeling like that helmet's metallic. It looks more edgy than this. This looks softer, like coral. We'll get away with that one being coral, but I really want to make... Plus, he's a Baron. Let's give him some... We got to give him some bling, right? Yeah, these guys are pretty cool. They love to make their houses in caves that are mostly submerged, close to shorelines, so that they can harass shipping lanes and coastal towns. If you leave them to their own devices, they will populate and then become a problem later on down the road. They don't really stop. They are devout followers of a shark god called Sekola, which is kind of interesting. The shark god has 2 heads, so like it's pretty weird. And, yeah, that's D&D for you, right? If D&D wasn't weird, everybody would play it. If you got that joke, then kudos to you. If you did, you probably played D&D. Let's see, there's like a little tiny tag I missed from the... There we go. Taking just a tip off of his ear, but that's okay. That little tag would have looked weird when it got painted. Whenever you cut them out of those supports, you always miss something. That is one of the big advantages to sprued models versus printed. There's not as many points of contact on a sprued model. And a lot of time with the sprued model, it's easier to fix it if something goes wrong. I like using this stuff for kit bashing. Like every now and again, you can use the kit bash something. Print a little piece off and add it to this or whatever. I'm just going to add a little bit of black down in there. That really needs to be a lot darker. That looks good. Alright, get his tail, and then we get to start working on the next part. Pay real close attention to what part is tail and what part isn't. There we go. The good thing is that cloak's going to be a phthalo green to start off with, so if you get a little bit on there, no big deal. There's a couple different companies that make Sahuagin stuff, so you could take this same color pattern and use it on somebody else's, on a different model if you weren't using this model. And just a little bit right back here on his thigh. Not that anybody's going to tilt on all the way up and look at his butt crack like that, but whatever. Alright, we'll throw down this phthalo green real quick. I knew I got my finger in it, and then I rubbed it all over my hand like an idiot. Boy, that loincloth's hard to tell what that is. Looks like it's a mix of seaweed and cloth. And then that's all like engraved stuff. That's really cool. Alright, we're going to make this part green, and then we're going to give him like a cloth color piece down here. And all of this is this kelp or seagrass, or you could think about it however you want it. Think about whatever you want. Seaweed, kelp, seagrass. It's not exactly the same thing, but you know, it's an underwater plant that is wispy and wavy. We got a couple shells on here too. We'll come back and get them later. Getting these base coats in is going to help it look a little bit more like it's weird. It'll help the camera look at it better, and we'll be able to see what we're doing better. Something about it when it's all black, and it's not just a camera, like your eyes will do it too. Your eyes can sometimes have trouble seeing the differences. And you'll get the paint on there and you'll be like, oh, now I see what that is. It's kind of funny. I'm sure it's different for everybody. As I've gotten older, I've learned. Okay, so, and right there, painted a little bit of green on it. Because right there is part of his armor. It's another, like, it's kind of poking out of his armor there. Right there and right there. See it? Boom and boom. You may not be able to see it. It's hard to see when they're black like that. I'll be excited to move over to the gray primer once I get all this. I gotta use up all this black first. Again, you could get this part done with an airbrush really fast. Heck yeah. I'll have this guy knocked out quick. between today, tomorrow, maybe. Might be able to knock it out in two sittings. Depends on how far I can get today. I'm definitely feeling it. That was I don't know. It was like frozen. Just this one part of the stairs were frozen, and I slipped, and ouch. I'm getting too old, I guess. Can't move like I used to. I gotta start taking it easy. Go a little slower. Keep forgetting that. A weird piece right there. It's hard to tell what that is. Looks like probably there's where the armor ends, so that's probably the seaweed there. Alright, so that's got super dark green on there now. Alright, so next we're going to start doing this chest plate armor. And this is our pale terracotta here. I'm not super worried about getting the barnacles painted. Just yet, and we're going to do them in Naples. I usually do them at the very end, but if you get a little bit on there, it's not a big deal, so don't stress it. Just try not to fill the hole in, because you need it to stay dark. There's a little hole in the tops of the barnacles. Man, I might have to completely readjust this camera to get this to hit this right. I think I have to do that in a different setting. I think it has to be in a different... I think I have to have the app open for the camera. I'll deal with it later. Goodness. Excuse me. Goodness. That was one of those ones where you feel like all the way up in the back of your brain. You ever get those sneezes where it literally feels like you sneezed out part of your entire intelligence? Like, oh my god, did I lose brain matter? I felt like that came from all the way up in my face. Maybe it's just me. Well, his army is splendiferous. That armor, I think I said army, but I meant armor. Okay. Resplendent in his pink mail. I guess not mail, is it? It's pink plate. Coral plate. I don't know, it seemed very anime to me. I kind of liked it. Makes me feel like you'd fight this in some sort of an anime or something. I really like some of the old anime monsters. They had some cool stuff back in the day. I kind of imagine these guys, because they'll enslave animals to ride them, like whales and, you know, large sharks or whatever. And you'll use them like pack animals, or you know, use them to draw their chariots and things. Watch that ear. That's why we do all these base coats down first. We can come back and fix any of our little issues before we go too far. Alright, second coat. Well, not second coat, but probably need to drop our... This is our burnt umber. We're gonna use that on the shield here. I'm not sure what this is supposed to look like, but I feel like if we put get a little color on it, it'll help. That looks like some sort of rigid piece of metal. This could be a tooth that they've like turned into a shield. That would be fun. And put like a piece of metal on the top of it. It used to be part of a tooth. It's got a bunch of barnacles and shells on it. This is fun. I'll have to go and look at for this particular model and see what people painted this shield as. I thought it was wood originally, but I don't know now. I don't know what it is. It's such a strange texture. It doesn't completely look like wood, but it does a little bit. Try to get in there as best you can. It's not too bad. These models are pretty much put together, easy to paint when they're put together. See how he's all open. They printed it as pretty much one piece except for the hands. I put all those in myself. You print them separately and put them in. Okay. rocking coral pink underwear. There we go. Come on, come off there. Come off there for us. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Now, quick second layer up here. Second coat goes on so much easier than the first. Still trying to keep from filling in the holes on the barnacles as best I can. That is something that it's better to keep them from getting filled in. You need that depth later. Yeah, there we go. Now we're gonna get a little bit of water. We're gonna make this pretty washy. We want it to be really wet. Come back with that wet brush. Pick up anything that got away from us a little bit. A little too much that time. There we go. As this dries, it'll look great. It kind of has that coral color to it. polisher's not quite ready. Has one big ass barnacle right here. It just looked like part of his armor. I didn't notice it till I got that wash on there. It's so hard to tell what it was. And we'll let him set up, and then when he dries, we're gonna put we're gonna edge highlight out some more of that pink color. Go ahead and pick out some of these shells, just a little bit of base. Just put a little bit of Naples yellow on it, so I don't lose them later. Like I say, putting markers down is what I call it. I'm putting markers down. That's there, that's there, that's there. We wanted to paint this underneath here as a piece of cloth. Yeah, and I'll give him some tones, some different tones. Because when you look back here, it's definitely not the same thing. Now, whether that was because they just didn't think to do it that way or not, I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to turn it into a piece of cloth, and that solves the issue where I don't have to decide after that. All right, we got a bunch of barnacles here, 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 shell here, barnacle there. I got it a little inside those. I didn't really, should not have. That's okay. We're gonna wash the heck out of this thing, so it'll be all right. You got to be more careful on the vests because there's more mistakes that you can't cover up. This is gonna be brown, so like, you know, if I put brown wash over this, it'll hide a lot of the. I mean, if you have to, you can go ahead and drop brown wash in the barnacles that are filled in on the other side. You just really want to try to avoid it. Which I should have followed my own dang advice. Burp. Just kind of grab out these barnacles. They're truly all over this shield. Yeah, see, it's wild. You start getting color on it, and now all of a sudden it wants to focus better. Back here. All right, I'll let that dry a little bit more. All right. Oh, he's gonna look great. All right, folks. Well, it's now 2 o'clock, and I am hurting, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut myself out here and get myself a little bit of rest, and I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, all right. So, but yeah, we got started, which is awesome. Looks good. It's gonna look really great when he gets going. So just come back and see us tomorrow, and check out the progress then, and we're gonna see you guys later on. Hope you have a great day. I'm having a much better day now that I got into all that stuff. Anyhow, you guys have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.